A lot of dust has been kicked up this week over a bureaucrat, IAS officer Puja Khedkar, who is alleged to have unfairly acquired a disability certificate to enter the All India service. The larger question is whether India's administration itself is in a condition worthy of a disability certificate. First, the case of 2023 batch IAS officer Puja Khedkar, who is under investigation for multiple reasons. The allegations include her using a fake address proof, which was of a company, to acquire a ration card, and then using that to acquire a disability certificate, claiming locomotor disability, and also getting a non-creamy layer certificate, while her parents' joint assets are valued at roughly 500 million rupees. Now, here's the distinction between India's private sector and the disability-ridden government service. In the private sector, an employee caught for even one of the allegations made against Puja Khedkar is unlikely to be in service for even one more day. In government service, that employee is merely transferred, like Puja was transferred from Pune to Washim. Oh, what a lovely punishment. India's citizens can give a rap of the knuckles to its politicians, like they did to Narendra Modi and the BJP in the Lok Sabha election, and even change them. But in government service, the people are simply immovable. No wonder the politicians have to at least pretend to be humble, while the immovable bureaucrats don't have to. They can act feudal, inaccessible, and arrogant. 2 years ago in 2022, the Lok Sabha was informed that there were 5,231 IAS officers in the country, against a sanctioned strength of 6,746, or a shortage of 22%. Another bit of Lok Sabha stats reveals how India's administration has slid into corruption. In 2020-21, there were 581 cases of corruption against IAS officers. Former IAS officer and a former governor of the Reserve Bank of India, Duvuri Subbarao, has been on record about the rot in the IAS. Subbarao said, "A chief minister once told me that of the IAS officers at his disposal, about 25% were callous, corrupt, or incompetent. The middle 50% had turned their jobs into sinecures, and he had to depend on the remaining 25% to get all his work done." Imagine any private sector top boss saying this, that he is unable to get his work done because his staff are callous, corrupt, and incompetent. In other words, India's prime ministers and state chief ministers may portray themselves as iron men and women, but the reality is that that's a very hollow image. They are, in fact, at the mercy of the bureaucracy. Of course, there's a counter view. Deepak Gupta, former chairman of the Union Public Service Commission and author of the book The Steel Frame, A History of the IAS, disapproves of all the blame for the nation's ills being laid at the door of the IAS. He wrote in the Times of India, "India's problems are many. Overall governance has to improve as challenges are only increasing. Blaming one service, and that too unfairly, will be a disservice. Ultimately, the system will breed its own quality." In other words, we get the bureaucracy we deserve. Economist Sanjeev Sanyal has a different take on the matter. Commenting on the craze of Indian youths to write UPSC examinations, Sanyal feels Indians suffer from a poverty of aspiration. Repeat, Indians suffer from a poverty of aspiration. You should dream to be Elon Musk or Mukesh Ambani. Why dream to be a joint secretary, he asks. Why then would India's youth be so desperate to land IAS jobs? Perhaps the yearning to lord over fellow citizens? Or the knowledge that they can make an Ambani or numerous other entrepreneurs or the common citizen run from pillar to post for some document, license or permission? That high-handedness in government service seems to run right through the government jobs hierarchy, from top to bottom, not sparing any citizen, from entrepreneur to farmer. Last year, officials of the Kerala State Electricity Board chopped down some 406 banana plants grown under a high-tension electric line near Kodamangalam, Kerala. This without even informing the farmer, and despite the fact that the banana leaves reached nowhere near the electric line. The farmer's crop loss was roughly 400,000 rupees. This week it was my turn to suffer government service. A team from the Kerala State Electricity Board chopped off the fruit from one of my banana plants grown near an electric line in my homestead farm. And as if to show the sovereign power of government officials, they left the banana plant and the leaves intact, just chopped down the fruit alone. India is no banana republic, but we must show patience. Our government officials are trying their best to get us there. The next big guarantee floating around is that India will be a developed country by 2047. All adult Indians will know how the goalpost was shifted from 2020 to 2047. Not by 1 or 2 years, but by 27 years. The way we are going, the 2047 goal doesn't seem likely. If we miss the 2047 goalpost too, it will have a lot to do with the disability of the bureaucracy and the inability of India's political leadership to deal with it. While criticizing the bureaucracy, in order that we don't lose sight of some great work by government officials, let me leave you with the exemplary work being done by two government officials in Kerala. Police Sub-Inspector Philip Mampad and Kerala State Electricity Board lineman Mahesh Chitravarnam have been campaigning against drug use among youth in Malappuram district. Philip gives motivating talks and Mahesh wields his painting brush. And together they've conducted more than 3,000 programs over 17 years. All of that during holidays and after office hours. These two sought no disability certificate, merely putting their abilities to good use for the benefit of society.